You're welcome once again to Talk Point on Lagos Television. My name is Omololu Rosonwo. We're very sorry for bringing you this edition rather late. It was due to my guest stuck in traffic, but thank God he's here and we will continue. Our topic today is political parties and the amended 2026 Electoral Act. We'll be looking at these and I have Mr. Bola Wale, a public affairs analyst, a media practitioner, consultant, and also an entrepreneur who will be doing justice to it for me. Sir, nice to have you on Talk Point.
It's my pleasure to be here. Sorry for coming late. Traffic, the usual traffic in Lagos.
Yeah, we understand. We understand. Our guests also understand. Yes, let's quickly go to let's look at the 2026 Electoral Act. What do you make of it, and what's as political parties jostle to meet up with the deadline of INEC?
You see, the amended Electoral Act 2026 is a right step in the right direction. It takes us forward. It moves us closer to the type of electoral laws that we need for us to have credible elections. It may not be perfect. There are some areas of it that people are saying that needs to be tinkered with, like this issue of automatic relay of electronic relay of results. Immediately as you are casting your vote, it should be counting. In some other climes, immediately as you are counting, the computer, as you are casting your vote, the computer is reading. So there is no, yes, there is no mago that anybody can do. Once an election is done, within 1 hour, the result is out. The election they did in India, despite the fact that it's a country of 1.4 billion people,
yes.
Within a few hours, the results of the elections were out. So why can't we, a country of about 200 million people, why can't we do something like that or even do it better? But see, they said the journey of 1,000 miles starts with the first step you take, and Rome was not built in a day. So our electoral laws are getting better and better. Like the last electoral, the amendment now made electronic, instead of people doing manual accreditation now, it has to be electronically done. That is a right step in the right direction. It will reduce the element of all manner of people coming to vote, people piling figures upon actual voting and things like that. So it is a right step in the right direction. Whereas the outcry that we saw that attended that act was that, it did not make explicit provision for
real time.
Okay. Yes, but it actually specified it, but it said that in the event that is not possible, because we know that there are a lot of things that can make that impossible in our system. Maybe because of network. You and I can be sitting down now, I may want to call your number, it may say that it's not available. It may say that the person you are trying to talk to is not reachable. You can say that wrong number. You can say a lot of, because of this problem of network. So when you now want to do, you want to rely on this kind of network all over the country. There are places where they don't even have network. I went to visit my sister to Shogbo. Inside her sitting room, there's a particular window you go to and you find network. When you sit down in the same sitting room, there won't be network. Wow. So you can imagine that is the kind of situation we find ourselves in Nigeria at the moment. So if you now see that everything must be electronically done, and you want to rely 100% on this kind of abiku system that we have, it won't work. So I think that we are making a step in the right direction. We are not yet there. We are not there yet, but we will get there. So if we can be patient, and if we can continue to try the system, and then every election we pinpoint to you areas of improvement, and then you can improve on that areas before the next election. And before we get to, maybe we are just how many years old? 1999 to 2026, we are less than 30 years old. By the time you get to 50 years, 100 years, before we start counting 200 and something years, like the United States, we will get there.
Okay, well, let's look at some issues that has to do with the Electoral Act, with political parties complying, because very recently, of course, we heard that the likes of Peter Obi and Kwakwanso have moved again from the ADC to the NDC. That's the Nigeria Democratic Party. Now, looking at this now, yes, it is allowed they can move as they desire, but can they meet up with the digitization that will be going up, and that expected time for them to give electronic copy to the Independent National Electoral Commission as a political party?
Yeah, according to the INEC timetable, the political parties are supposed to submit the list of their list of registrars maybe this week, maybe about the 6th or whatever. So the parties should know, they know how to go about it, whether they are able to meet up or they are not able to meet up. This idea of defection, moving from one party to the other, is still one of the problems that our democracy that we are experiencing. We are not actually having political parties, properly so-called. The way we define political parties in the university, I read political science. The way we define political parties and the way we define politics is not the way Nigerian politicians are practicing it. Political parties are supposed to be the coming together of like minds, people with the same ideology, people with the same policies and programs, the manifesto, who come together to seize power, come together to grab power so that they can execute their shared ideas and ideals and policies and programs. That is what political parties, that's the definition we were given in the university. But today now, political parties are just what they call special purpose vehicle, SPV. You see, just any platform to contest election. A governor even put it very clearly. A governor from the south said, you want to travel to Abuja, you get to Lagos. You want to take this airline. The airline is not available. The aircraft is not available, or it's not going to go as fast as you want. And then you see another airline that is ready to go. Bole Kaja, oh yeah, Abuja. You enter. He said the important thing is once you get to your destination. That is what political parties have become. And that is why you see all these defections, because there is no ideological underpinnings for any of the political parties. All of them belong to the same ideological spectrum. They are all politicians of the right wing. That is, they are capitalist-oriented politicians. So they all have the same ideas, the same ideology. They all have belonged to different parties, the same party at different times. They are only defecting because they cannot realize their ambition in this party or that party. They are going for another party. If political parties have been formed there on ideological basis, it will be difficult for you to leave a party or your own ideological bent and go to another party that is antithetical to your own ideological basis. It will not be possible. Like in the US, it's not going to be easy for a conservative person to go to the Democratic Party. It's the same thing in the UK. You won't find somebody who is liberal or who is a Labour Party going to the Conservative Party. But yet, here now, all of them belong to the same ideological spectrum. So it's easy for them. How many of them that are defecting and that have not been in PDP? How many of them that have not been in APC? How many of them that were not in the same political parties? They are all been in the same political parties. Some of them have even crisscrossed 4 or 5 different political parties. So the parties are the same. That's why some of us call them the different fingers of the same leprous hand. And some other people say they are different rooms under the same building, you see, under the same roof. So that is what we have. That is why you find that these defections are easy for them. They just go there. They acclimatize immediately because there is no difference. No difference in ideology, no difference in orientation, no difference in the way they conduct themselves, the way they conduct their affairs, no difference in their attitude to governance, no difference in that your manifesto is different from mine. They don't have any manifesto other than their own selfish interest.
Okay, let me ask you this question because that time is not really on our side. The political parties are expected to go through direct primaries now and also consensus arrangement. And as we speak, we see some political parties coming up with consensus arrangement agreement. Then they will now formalize it at the convention or whatever they will hold at the events to formalize it. Now, looking at some of this, do you see that these events as they unfold, are they going to still stabilize the system?
Yeah, you see, if the law says that you can either do consensus or you can do primaries, it is now left for each of the parties to decide which of the options they want to follow. The law does not strictly say it must be primaries or that it must be consensus. You will decide. But if it is consensus, there must be rules and regulations guiding consensus. And you must follow the rules and regulations. Every party has their own constitution, and they have their own internal mechanisms. The internal mechanisms of a party will determine whether it will go for consensus or whether it will go for primaries. But whichever one you go for, you must obey your own laws. That is where maybe some of the parties are running foul. They will say, oh, this issue is our internal affairs. The courts cannot look into it. It is a lie. The court can look into your own internal affairs to see whether you follow your own rules and regulations, to see whether you follow your own constitution, or to see whether you have violated the rights of your members. If you violate the rights of your members and they take you to court, the court has a right to look into it and to say that this is what the constitution says. You have not followed it. And the court can negate whatever decisions you arrive at. That's what has happened to the parties. All these cases about ADC, about PDP, that's what the courts have said. The courts have said, look at your own constitution. Look at your own internal arrangements. Have you followed the rules of your own party? If your party says that a person cannot cannot contest election unless he has been a financial member for 1 year, and somebody is coming today, just like some people are moving to another party now, have they seen the constitution of that party? To know whether they are qualified to contest election? If tomorrow now somebody else comes with a provision of the constitution that says that you cannot join today and contest election tomorrow, they will say they have seen somebody from Abuja. They have seen one president of one party that's against them. Like I was reading today now that 2 of the parties that they are running to now, they have the same legal advisor. The same legal advisor I won't mention their names. The same legal advisor, and the constitution has said that you cannot belong to more than one political party. So if now they have not looked carefully before defecting, and tomorrow now somebody comes up and says these 2 political parties are actually the same, you cannot even field candidates because you have flouted even the electoral law that says that the legal advisor of party A cannot also be the legal advisor of party B. So you see so those are some of the intricacies, some of the problems they are going to have if they don't study closely because of time factor, if they are rushing, and then they cannot actually scrutinize very well before they choose. If their opponents will now see the loopholes and exploit it, we can't blame their opponents. We only have to blame them for not doing due diligence. Okay,
yes. It's good that you have also given us insight into that. But let's quickly go as we round up to the section 47 of the Electoral Act, which you spoke to in your write-up, and it's of concern because most Nigerians, or some Nigerians, let me put it that way, may not understand that if you go to a polling unit and the beavers does not recognize you, you cannot vote, except another beavers is brought there, or otherwise it will be postponed to another 48 hours. Explanation.
Yes, the new law now says that if you go to the polling booth, all accreditation must be electronically done. It is no manual again. Shall. The word used there is shall, and when the word shall is used, it means there is no hanky-panky about it. You cannot vary it. There can be no corner about it. It is shall. So you will be accredited electronically. If the beavers that is there, the machine there does not recognize you, the law says bring another machine. If another machine cannot be brought up to the point that the election time will close, then the election will be postponed. Then the electoral officer will now look at it. Okay, after they have collected the result for the other polling booths, they will say, okay, does this particular polling booth or polling booths where elections were not held because of a voter problem, does it affect the overall result? When they look at the number of voters there, they will say, assuming all these people were able to vote, and assuming they voted for the party or the person with the highest number of votes, would it have affected the outcome of the result? If it will affect the outcome of the result, overall result, they will now say that election is inconclusive. They will now arrange another time for election in the affected polling units or polling booths. But in the event that the outcome of those polling booths will not affect the overall result, they will go ahead and announce the result,
results.
and that means that those areas where they were not able to vote will not be taken into consideration, meaning that whether they have voted or not, whatever may have been, their vote will not affect the overall result. So the result at that time will be declared as valid. That is what the new law says now.
Yes, it's good that you have given us further knowledge in that area. Now, as we round up now, political parties jostling to meet up with the deadline of INEC. What advice do you have for them? Because political parties are starting to hold their primaries now. What is your take and what's your advice for them?
The parties that can meet the deadline should go ahead and meet the deadline. But for parties that are not able to meet the deadline, if there is still anything that INEC can do for them, if we can still give some more time for more parties to meet the deadline, because this is a democracy, and we need more people, we need opposition people to participate, so that it will not be seen as if, oh, INEC deliberately shortened the time frame so that some people can be shut out. I think as many political parties as possible should be allowed the opportunity to participate in the political process. The more, the merrier.
Yes, thank you so much. Time will not permit us to go further. I want to believe that we'll still have another part 2 of this. I want to thank you so much, Mr. Bola Wale, media practitioner, media columnist, and also public affairs analyst, for coming on Top Point.
Thank you.
Yes, on that note, we have come to the end of Talk Point. 767 and 112 are still the lines to always call in times of emergency. Stay out of trouble. Ensure that you also contribute your own quota to the development of the country, so that we can be proud of Nigeria. I am Omololu Rosanwo, signing out.